Ed Rooney.
Ed, this is George Peterson.
How are you today, sir?
Well, we've had a bit of bad luck this morning, as you may have heard.
Yeah, I heard, and I'm all broken up. Boy, what a blow.
Yeah. Well, it's been a tough morning, and we've got a lot of family business to take care of, so if you wouldn't mind excusing Sloan, I'd appreciate it.
Sure. I'd be happy to. Yeah, you just produce a corpse, and I'll release Sloan. I want to see this dead grandmother firsthand. It's all right, Grace. It's Ferris Bueller, little twerp. I'm gonna set a trap and let him fall right into it.
Ed, I'm sorry. Did you say you wanted to see a body?
Yeah, that's right. Just roll her old bones on over here, and I'll dig up your daughter. You know that school policy.
Oh?
Was this your mother?
No, my wife's mother.
Ed Rooney's office.
Hi, this is Ferris Bueller. Can I speak to Mr. Rooney, please? Thank you.
Hold.
Tell you what, dipshit. You don't like my policies, you can just come on down here and smooch my big old white butt.
Ed,
Pucker up, Buttercup.
What?
Ferris Bueller's online too.
For anyone who has seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off, we know that Ed Rooney need not be fearful. Ferris is pretending to be his girlfriend's father. By using a second telephone, Mr. Rooney is under the assumption that Ferris cannot be on both phones simultaneously. But why does he assume this, and what implications does this have for our national security policy? Ferris Bueller is using a technique commonly referred to as social engineering in the information security industry. Social engineering is any act that influences a person to take an action that may or may not be in their best interest. From a technological perspective, social engineers are people who use systems and the people who are members of those systems to get around institutional and security barriers. Because social engineers are any person who takes action to influence another, in its most basic form, all of us and the institutions in which we are members of are social engineers. As soldiers, in terms of information security in the military, however, the social engineers we should be most concerned with are foreign governments and foreign nationals, homegrown terrorists and other extremist groups, and even institutions, both public and private. Everyone is vulnerable to social engineering, whether it's an ad prompting you to purchase a particular product or your soldier asking you to let him in the gate without his CAC. You are bombarded by cues and directions nudging you to act in a certain way every day. As soldiers, we are particularly vulnerable due to our positions and access to sensitive information. Social engineering, or SE attacks, are a cyclic process. First, the social engineer identifies his or her goal. Once the goal is identified, the engineer gathers information through open sources like the newspaper, social media sites, and direct observation. Once enough information is collected, the engineer then plans the attack. Using the information gathered, the engineer focuses in on the target in such a way that upon deployment of the attack, the target may not know what happened until long after the engineer is gone. Once planned, the engineer must then acquire the necessary tools to carry out the attack. Such tools are not always necessarily technological, though they can be. Once the tools have been acquired, the social engineer is ready to attack. Whether successful or not, each attack reveals more information about the target, which in turn assists the engineer in perpetrating further attacks. Without proper training and vetting of personnel, SE attacks are particularly difficult to prevent due to the relatively common wants used to deploy such attacks. An FBI study identified the most common motivators to be money, ego, entertainment, cause, entry to social group, and status. Because even the most ethical soldier may be tempted by any number of these promises, highly focused SE attacks are near impossible to prevent. Consequently, awareness, training, and vetting are crucial to the prevention of SE attacks. The costs of a successful SE attack are numerous and varied. Such costs range from loss of reputation and trust personally and nationally, loss of time and money, again, personally and nationally, a loss of competitive or combative advantage, and a loss of security and safety, sometimes resulting in the loss of lives, either civilian or soldier. Social engineering attacks are common throughout history. From the Trojan horse to more recent attacks like Stuxnet virus, SE attacks are more prevalent now than ever before. However, not all attacks require an initial degree of subterfuge on behalf of the engineer either. It is unclear whether Benedict Arnold, Chelsea Manning, or Edward Snowden were tempted overtly by some foreign enemy, but the motivators that led each of them to defect and leak information to the enemy are identical to the motivators SE attacks rely upon today. Aldrich Ames may have initially sought out the Russians over a small debt, but the Russians were able to use this weakness to continue to extract information from him over the course of a decade. Most recently, David Petraeus may have not caused national harm with the information he willingly leaked to Paula Broadwell, a journalist he was having an affair with, but leaking such information is expected when viewed from a social engineering perspective. SE attacks occur in a variety of forms. Phishing, whaling, and pretexting all require a degree of deception on part of the engineer and can easily be prevented by confirming the authenticity of the technology or person through one's chain of command, as well as other reputable sources. Tailgating and shoulder surfing require one to continually be aware of one's surroundings, as well as one's sensitive items, and the courage to prevent others from skirting local, Army, and DoD policies. Baiting and quid pro quo require a high degree of skepticism and adhering to the ethical standards espoused in Army values in both one's personal and professional life. Despite knowing how these attacks occur and what they look like, no one can ever be entirely safe from a social engineer attack. Consequently, here are 9 recommendations to guard yourself from social engineering attacks online and in person.